Hello fellas, I gotta be there again, I know, sorry, I don't know why you're even subbed if I keep growing the damn thing between videos. I'm just gonna shave it, right back. Huh, this would've been the perfect spot for a Dollar Shave Club plug, but I'm not sponsored. Alright, what should I talk about next? Oh, I know, this one's been a long time coming. But first, a little news. I'm renaming my channel from Mik Ogniokrwisty to simply CatMik. Don't worry, the character is still named Mik Ogniokrwisty and I'm still the same weird kitty you all come to expect. Speaking of weird things, have you ever wondered what would happen if you took the premise of Powerpuff Girls, made it into a game that played like Final Fight, but it was set in the Sonic universe, except it had a lot of... What the hell is that noise? Where did they all come from? Help! We've got an infestation! Okay, I think we got all of them. So, the game. It's another one of those. What's next? One at Betty's 2 and 3? Who in the name of the burning hell signed off on a review of something like this? Why do I do this to myself? Well, either way, welcome to my review of Project X. Well, more like surface level impression of it, but fair warning fellas, if you're not 18 or older or whatever the legal age is for you, this game is not going to be for you. This game contains illicit material unfit for those innocent. If you don't know the meaning of the word debauchery even after looking it up, click away from this video. Or don't, I'm not your boss. Still here? Okay, good. So, like I mentioned before, this game is basically the mighty Final Fight, in the sense that you walk around a 2D plane, technically 3D since you have the ability to jump, until trouble finds you. Robotnik is at it again, and his robots have gone crazy with lusts, and now it's your job to smash them all to pieces. To defend yourself, you have basic attacks, hidden techniques that do good damage at a really good range, and a power move that you can also use to get yourself out of a bind, but the latter two take up energy. In addition to that, you also have a dash attack, but that knocks enemies away to the distance that you can't attack them again without approaching. And if you do approach, this happens. While in most games you have a health bar that measures how much of a beating you have taken, in this game your health bar is actually a measure of how overwhelmed with lust you are. If you get yourself caught too many times, your character will simply lose themselves to the pleasure that's slowly been building up inside them. The only way to stave it off is by fighting things. If you notice this countdown clock up here, you'll notice that it refreshes every time you begin or finish a fight, and if it runs out, it's instant death, or rather instant undress. This can really apply some pressure to you as a player because of those things happening to you. Those are all unskippable animations! If you get caught, you gotta watch the whole thing, even if, like me, you're not at all into that. I mean, maybe your co-op partner could help you out with those, allowing you to be rescued if the enemy is hit before the animation finishes, but I don't have a way of checking that, and the fact that I will be taken out of the action for that long is a massive turnoff for me. I should be more afraid of losing health than I should be afraid of being given such a big break that I can go take a piss in the time for this to actually end. It's actually the only reason why I stopped playing the game on my first attempt, and why I never got past the second stage in my session of recording footage for this. I simply couldn't be bothered. However, there are two saving graces in this. One, not all the characters seem to have the animation length if it tells us anything to go by, which, at least I suspect, could lead to an interesting layer of strategy where different characters would be more harshly punished for being caught. But secondly, those moves are grapples. That means that vertical approach is an excellent strategy. Additionally, those grapples can be interrupted, though the window for it is so small that you need either great reflexes or anticipation in order to take advantage of it. To interrupt, use the power move I mentioned near the beginning of this segment. So that's the Final Fighty bit, but where do Powerpuff Girls come into it? Sadly, they're not in the game as far as I'm aware, but the setup of the game is essentially the same. These two fine scientist ladies are attempting to create the perfect boyfriend, and they accidentally add chemical X into the formula. The only problem is, X is a very powerful lust hormone, and when the whole bottle ends up in the cloud throne, it literally sex bombs the entire city. Robotnik's airship included. Somehow Robotnik is not affected by this, and he enlists the help of the heroes to try and fix this whole mess. Honestly, it's a smart move on him. Not only has his own army turned into a Puritan's worst nightmare, even if he does take over the city, the only thing he'll have is a city-sized sex dungeon. Unfortunately, I don't know what happens next. I couldn't be bothered to play the game because of the unskippable sex scenes. Seriously, that really bothers me. I know they're unskippable in Packcraft too, but they only occur on your last hit point when they're not done by bosses, and even then the longest one is shorter than the shortest one here. And in another similar game, Milia/Echidna Wars, there's a button explicitly for the purpose of instantly ending any scene in which you're grappled or devoured. Another thing that bothers me are those coordinates. It's nearly impossible to determine their vertical position, aka the thing that will let you punch them. They don't have a neat round shadow beneath them, though I gotta admit shadows are really nice detail in this game otherwise. Nor do they have any kind of a flight marker like you might see in StarCraft. So every time I try to hit them, I have to resort to guess what? Also, what are those? Tentacle traps? Are you seriously telling me that Robotics has dozens of these on his ship?
I have but one simple question.
Right! I'm not too familiar with Sonic lore, but what the hell? I don't really care. It's a porn game, what do you expect? There's gotta be some acceptable breaks from reality, like how the character's clothing magically reappears. It's actually a thing I like because it means I don't have to censor the entire footage, and it leads to small funny scenes where the character respawns and scrambles to put their clothing back on. And I gotta really commend the art team, though the look isn't my favorite due to the color palette. Certainly a lot of love and care has gone into making the entire thing. It even looks pretty good from afar, and the music is on par with the real thing, though I don't know if it's straight up ripped or if they composed their own tracks for it. Another neat thing is that you can heal, but not through rings, but condoms. This is actually a pretty fun subversion of expectations, and it fits with the theme of a last meter acting as a health bar. Also, can we talk about Zeta for a second? I'm pretty sure she's some sort of a fan character, but don't quote me on that. I just never saw her in any Sonic game outside of this thing. If she is one, then she looks like she fits right in with the rest of the team, and she plays distinctly enough from the rest, since she is a mighty glacier as opposed to the big roster of fragile speedsters and glass cannons. Incidentally, it's the main reason my brain immediately thought she might be some kind of a cyborg. That and the fact she has a segmented body, can remove her arm to use the blaster, and the headset around her head might also be a pretty big hint. But...
Baby Maker's still intact. Guess she's still useful for something.
So you're saying she still has a...
Vagina, yes.
Just went from a 9 to a 10.
Because clearly she can get pregnant and dispense milk. And no, I won't show that, and don't ask me how it works, I'm not Dr. Briefs. In conclusion, I would say this is a pretty solid game, except that one thing I have a personal gripe with, one is so extremely petty that I don't even know if I would call it a big flaw. While it's not for everyone, I can definitely see the appeal in this, and I would probably love it if I wasn't almost exclusively a war fag. I'm obviously not gonna post any links to it if you wanna find it, but hey, it's not that hard to do. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and if you expect—
Wait a second, hold on. Did you seriously make an entire video on this game just because the lewd scenes are unskippable?
Yes, I have gone an entire rant over less.
Oh yeah? Which ones? Because I don't remember one where you make an entire video about a game that doesn't have a certain small feature.
Phosphor promising one night at Betty's. Heck, you should even be seeing it on one—
Dude, you're literally ranting about not being able to skip lewd scenes in an 18+ game made for Sonic fans.
Your point?
You're an idiot.
What if I've seen all of those before and want to skip them so I can get to the next stage faster so I can see the new ones?
Then get good, noob.
What is this, Dark Souls? This is a porn game. This isn't something designed to make me cry every time. Throw me a bone here.
Exactly, which you shouldn't make an entire video just to rant about it. It's nothing too big. Now be quiet and just end the video already.
Anyways, if you expected some kind of drivel about liking, commenting, and subscribing, sod off. You're adults, presumably, so I don't have to subtly brainwash you into doing all that. I expect you to subscribe unprompted if you like this thing, and maybe, just maybe, you won't have to wait another 2 years for another video.